how I lost 40 pounds in 3 months.
Hey bestie, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bestie, like the video because it helps with my algorithm. So in today's video, we'll be talking about 10 weight loss tips that will help you lose the weight. So I've put the stitches together so that you watch. I'll be back share my true sense.
How I lost 40 pounds in 3 months and the things that I did. So here's like 10 tips for losing weight. It hopefully works for everybody. It's free. I'm not trying to sell you any supplements or anything like that. All right. First thing, drink your water. Constantly drink your water. If you're thirsty, drink water. Throw some lemon in it. Throw some fruit in it. But drink your water daily. You need to be doing this. I personally just stay in a calorie deficit. If you don't know what that means, it just means burning more calories than what you're eating, what you're intaking. So that means like don't eat 3 huge gigantic square meals a day if you're not active and you're not doing anything to burn some of those calories. So staying in a calorie deficit. Number 3, I was a cigarette smoker for 18 years, and smoking cigarettes can cause visceral fat, which is one of the hardest fats to get rid of in your body. And so I cold turkey after 18 years quit smoking because weight loss was more important to me. Quit smoking. Drinking your water. Calorie deficit. I absolutely quit drinking alcohol. Not a glass of wine every once in a while, not a White Claw every once in a while, or a beer or a shot or anything. I just quit. Like, drinking is not great for you anyways. And if you know me in real life, drinking is really fun for me. It's one of my favorite things to do. I'm a big fan of drinking, if I'm being honest, but it is not good for you, first of all, and as far as weight goes, it ain't doing you any favors. So I quit drinking. Getting correct sleep, putting yourself to bed at a decent time and getting a full however many hours it takes for you yourself personally for your body to feel rested, but not depriving yourself of sleep if it can be helped. Establishing good sleeping routines. And if you need a couple different aids to do that with, I took up gardening at bedtime to help me sleep, and because I've never been a very good sleeper ever, at all, ever, my entire life. So that actually helps a lot. I'm not obviously recommending that to anybody. I'm just saying get proper sleep. Make sure you're getting proper sleep. I just personally, I stay away from sugar. Like, I don't want to sit there and try to figure out macros and this and that and the other thing. If it's got fucking sugar in it, unless it's like fruit or something, which is natural sugar, but if it's processed sugar, I just stay the fuck away from it. Don't even fuck with that. I don't even bother with it. I stay the fuck away from carbs. Are all carbs bad? Absolutely not. But me personally, I have an unhealthy love of carbs, and I'm talking breads, pastas, rices, things like that. I just really, really like that stuff, and so I just stay the fuck away from it because I know I have no self-control. So staying away from sugar, staying away from carbs, drinking water constantly, getting correct sleep. I quit smoking, quit drinking alcohol. Every day, this is a big one. Every single day, I walk for 20 minutes. No more, no less, nothing crazy. You can obviously just do this outside, or if you got a treadmill at home, or whatever the case may be. I got a gym membership, and every day, except for on Saturdays, I take 1 day off a week where I do not go to the gym. I let my body rest, and I just recover from the week of working and the gym every day. 20 minutes every day, I walk. I quit snacking throughout the day. Just quit snacking. If I'm going to eat a meal, I eat a meal. And that's what I do. But I quit snacking. All that shit you just keep shoving in your mouth. Like, sometimes ain't great for you. Like, it's just not good habits to be in. Let me see. I did start taking vitamins, like a multivitamin every day, because your body can't do things correctly. Your insides can't work correctly. You can't burn calories correctly if everything isn't up to par. So I just take a multivitamin just for the hell of it, just to keep everything where it needs to be. I'm pretty sure that covers everything. They're all super simple things, but those things that I just went through and I just mentioned, literally, I have lost 40 pounds in the last 3 months. Is that excessive weight loss? It's not, but it's still weight loss, and that's quick enough for me. So if you guys are on a weight loss journey like I am, keep your head up, keep going, and I hope these tips were helpful to you. And I hope everybody has a good night.
Today marks 7 months since starting my weight loss journey, and I want to share some of y'all my biggest tips since losing 85 pounds in 7 months. 1, do not let the plateaus bother you. I need to take my own advice on that because I let it bother me way too much. But usually I'll hit a plateau for a couple weeks, not lose anything, and then wake up one day and be down 4 pounds. I don't know how that works. I think it's the whoosh effect. If y'all look that up, I don't know. But don't let that bother you. 2, it is simple but hard. Losing weight is not that complex. You literally just eat less and work out more. But it is harder to do than just saying it, especially if you have like an eating disorder. Don't let going over your calories by 100 or 2 one day bother you too bad. That used to really freak me out. Now I'm like, it's not going to kill me. 3, you are a snacker like I am, keep something like nuts in your car, because it's 160 calories for about 50 nuts, and I just always every day account for about 1.5 ounces of nuts, and I just snack on them in my car. It just keeps me from eating like potato chips or something, and it's just something good to have on hand. It's brain food, I think. I don't know. 4, measure your body, because there have been weeks where I didn't lose any weight, but I lost a 1/2 inch in my body somewhere. 5, buy goal clothes, because like I said, when you're not losing weight on the scale, sometimes you're losing inches, and there will be times where I didn't fit into a pair of jeans last week and this week I do, and even though I haven't lost any weight. Tip number 6, you do not have to cut out carbs. Some people do, that's their own decision, but if you're not diabetic, you do not have to cut out carbs. I eat french fries from McDonald's multiple times a week, and I've still lost 85 pounds. I eat pretty much whatever I want. The only thing I've really cut out was like sodas and juices. The only thing I drink is water and unsweet tea. Occasionally I'll drink a little bit of sweet tea in my unsweet, but very rarely. So to me, not drinking your calories is very important. BTW. That might be tip number 7. Do not drink your calories. So tip number 8. You do not have to buy the expensive protein shakes, protein snacks, the chips, the legendary snacks. You don't have to buy any of that. I know financially that's a lot for someone to be able to afford. I personally have rarely ever drank the protein shakes or anything, and I'm doing fine in my weight loss. It's just really a personal choice if you want to do that, but it's not really needed in my mind. I just get my protein in with like eggs and meat. Tip number 9, do intermediate fasting. I didn't do it for the majority of my weight loss journey, but I've recently started, and I've noticed that I'm a lot less hungry, because I don't really get hungry until after I start eating during the day. Like if I just don't start eating, I'm fine, but after I start, it's like it triggers something and I just want to keep eating. So I don't eat till about 11:30 usually, and I'll eat till about 6 o'clock, sometimes 7, depending on if my kid has ball or not. And anyway, you got to be flexible and off. But yes, intermediate fasting. Also, it really helps if you are like a nighttime eater, because I usually have lots more calories left over in the evening, and that's usually when I want to eat more. So that's helpful. Tip number 10. It's okay to have a sweet treat. It's okay to have a sweet treat. I recommend having a sweet treat, because if you're depriving yourself of everything, you're more likely to binge on it. So if you feel like you need a Reese cup today, eat the Reese cup, because instead of eating the Reese cup, you're going to end up eating an apple and all this other stuff that's going to end up amounting to the same amount of calories as the Reese, but you're not going to be satisfied. You're still going to want the Reese. So just eat the Reese.
Here's some little weight loss tips and tricks that I would offer you as someone who has lost almost 35 pounds since February. I started with just my diet, and I started with tracking my food with the app Lose It, and I actually weighed all my food with a food scale. And you might think, oh, that sounds like a lot of work. That sounds obsessive. It really, for me, made it so much easier. So I wasn't sitting there wondering, oh, is this the right amount of calories? If I eat this, will I be able to eat that later? Took all the guesswork out of it, and using a food scale is really nice because you can just fill your bowl as you go and just tear it and then add the exact grams in the app. And it just makes it much more streamlined. It really took no time out of my day. I'm a homeschooling mom of 4, and it was not an inconvenience. When you're building any snack or meal, just build it around protein. I would just start with like ground beef for lunch. I always say that I eat meat and then something else. And then I will just add something with fiber, add something with carbs, add a sauce to spice it up a little bit. I'm just starting with a base of, whole foods, meat, protein, whatever, and then just adding a little something to zhuzh it up. I stopped drinking my calories. I used to have at least 2 oat milk lattes at home. It was just espresso and oat milk, but that adds up really quickly and it doesn't fill you up at all. So those were just like empty calories for me. So now I have Americanos, and I will definitely enjoy like a Starbucks like cold foam drink that has like 300 calories in it sometimes, but I account for that, and it's not just like a mindless habit that I do every day. Always have components of meals prepped. I will always have like a meat of some sort in the fridge ready to go. I always have yogurt in the fridge, so in a pinch I can just throw that together. I also am not afraid to eat the same things on repeat. Like for the last month I've had like 1 or 2 lunches every day, and I just put it on autopilot because I know that it's good macros, makes me feel good, fills me up, gives me energy. So I just don't worry about like, oh, what can I look up on TikTok to find this like creative weight loss lunch. No, like just keep it simple. You have to have balance, and you have to enjoy foods that you like. I would literally like calculate Wingstop into my days sometimes, or have In-N-Out. Like there was nothing that I fully cut out because no food is bad. If you want to lose weight, it's just a matter of burning more calories than you consume and being in that caloric deficit. So I could eat anything I wanted. And of course, I'm not going to eat like all cookies one day because I won't be satisfied and I'm not getting the micronutrients or whatever. But it's really important to not be like, okay, I'm not going to eat any of that all week and then have this like bingey cheat meal or anything like that. You can just calculate reasonable portions of foods you love into your day-to-day diet. Volume foods are very helpful, and this is like lower calorie foods that you can eat a lot of. So for example, one of my favorite lunches are little like Costco brats, and I pan fry them on the cast iron so they're really crispy and flavorful. And I will have like a big old pile of sauerkraut with that because it's low calorie, it's actually really nutritious, really good for your gut, and it fills me up, and I have a lot of food to eat on the plate. And the last one's kind of crazy, but I didn't even start trying to exercise or hit my step goal or anything like that until I was months into my weight loss journey. So I started tracking my food in February, and I didn't start working out at all until May, and I had already lost 15 pounds just with diet at that point because I did not want to say, okay, I'm starting a whole new lifestyle. Here are the million things that I'm going to do, because I knew that I would fail. I wanted to just be really disciplined with figuring out my diet, making that second nature, and then once that was on autopilot and I felt up for a new challenge, then I added in working out. Probably going to have to do like a part 2, 3, 4, 5 of this.
I wanted to share my 10 unhinged weight loss tips and tricks with you guys. Trust me, we're in for a ride. Number 1 is drink a glass of water before you eat. I know, controversial, I get it, but here's the thing. Most of the time, you're not actually as hungry as you think you are. Most of the time, you're just thirsty, right? And I promise you that I used to do this because I struggled with binge eating and overeating. And once I started adding more water, I kind of realized I was actually just dehydrated, not really as hungry as I thought I was. This helped me lose weight, and it also helped me stay hydrated. Number 2, this one's going to also be controversial. Fair warning, these are all controversial. Number 2 is don't eat after 7 p.m. at night. See, I grew up with an almond mom, and my mom's a dietitian. Imagine that. But here's the thing, every time I would eat after like 7 o'clock at night, right? My mom would literally look at me and she'd go, just so you know, sumo wrestlers do that to bulk up. Yeah, basically the reason why you shouldn't eat after like 7 p.m. at night is because your metabolical rate is highest and fastest during the day, and especially in the morning, right? That's when it's easier to burn calories, it's easier to consume calories, it's easier for your body to digest things. When you eat later on in the day, it's harder for your body to digest it, and so you probably will wake up feeling bloated, puffy, inflamed. Your body's not properly digesting it. Trust me. Try not to eat after 7 p.m. in the night because it's not going to do you any good. 3 is take a metabolical or a craving supplement, because my metabolical rate, right, because I've kind of screwed it up over the years, is not very fast. It takes me a while to digest. It takes me a while to burn calories. And when I was taking a metabolical supplement, I noticed that I had more energy. I was more focused. I was burning calories easier. It does actually help. Craving supplement actually really helps too, because most of the time you're not hungry. Most of the time it's just a craving. because we are so addicted to sugar as a society and from what they put in our food, right? Most of the time you're just craving something. You're not actually hungry. And when you crave something, it's usually something that's very negative or not good for your body. When you are addicted to sugar, those cravings are happening all the time. Meaning that you're probably eating those shitty things all the time. I actually noticed that when I took a craving supplement that I enjoyed food a lot easier, and I enjoyed food that was helping me. You know, I didn't necessarily crave sugar and those addiction sort of foods. I craved things like fruits and vegetables and meats. This one was the hardest one for me, my entire weight loss journey. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Number 4, don't watch TV while you eat. I am such an iPad kid, so this one was so hard for me, and I love distracting myself. Love. Basically, when you do this, you are distracting your brain and your stomach cues for when you are full, when enough is enough, and when you're actually hungry. When you eat food as it is initially intended to be eaten, which is without distraction, you will notice that you do not eat as much, and you can eat a meal and not feel like a bloated mess after. Number 5. This one I heard on Liv Schmidt's podcast, and I actually love her. Like, she has helped me a lot. But she had said something along the lines of, don't reward yourself with food, you're not a dog. Let me think, why do I want to reward myself with food? Why not like a new outfit? Why not like a new book? Why not a new podcast? Why not a walk? Why do I need to reward myself with food? When there are so many other things in the world that increase my dopamine, my serotonin, they decrease my stress levels, right? Besides eating food. And when you use food as a reward system, that's when your life revolves around food, which becomes a very, very, very toxic pattern with food, which causes a lot of eating disorders. And trust me, dealing with those, you don't want to deal with them. Number 6 is one of the most important ones, and that is think like you are already skinny. There's this analogy that my therapist used, which was when I was dating really toxic people, when I had like a disorganized, anxious attachment style, she would always say to me, think to yourself, what would a secure attachment style do, right? It's the same thing with weight loss. Weight loss is a mental and a lifestyle shift. When you think, what would a skinny or fit person do? You start to emulate and become that fit or skinny person. Over a certain time, instead of what would that skinny or fit person do, it's what would I do? Number 7 is chew slowly. I'm not saying like chew for like a minute, right? But don't chew so fast, because this same thing with distracting yourself when you're eating, it negates your hunger in your brain and mental and stomach cues from when you are actually full, right? Instead of, oh, I'm just hungry, I'm gonna keep eating, keep eating, keep eating. It really does negate and subtract from that. Food is meant to be enjoyed. It's not meant to be inhaled. I am an inhaler. This is something that I had to stop doing because I wasn't enjoying my food and I wasn't using food as its sole purpose, which is fuel, right? You gotta put fuel in the gas tank, but if you put shitty food in the gas tank and you keep putting it in, overflow it, it's gonna do the opposite thing. Number 8 is you don't need to eat when you're hungry. Let me explain. When you have a craving, that is an immediate feeling. When you are hungry, that is a gradual feeling. If you feel an immediate, like, I'm so hungry I could die, you're probably not actually hungry. You're probably having a craving. And because they put so much addictive additives in our food, that is the sole purpose of food now. As we know with Big Pharma, political, right? They want us to keep eating and to be sick because that makes them more money. So when you do this, instead of realizing, oh, this is a craving, I'm not really hungry, you just eat because you think you're actually hungry. When you start to differentiate between a craving and hunger, your life gets insatiably better because you don't just eat to eat. You eat because there's a purpose and because there's fuel behind it. Number 9 is every time I would eat, I would think of myself on the beach. And I realized, yes, that can be toxic, that can be hard, but truth be told, that helped me lose weight. This helped me not overeat, right? I still would eat, but I wouldn't overeat. Last thing is it's okay to love food, but it's not okay to live for food. There are so many beautiful things in the world, unique experiences, connections, whatever it is, right? But when you live to eat food, you take the purpose of food out of it. There are so many other things in the world besides food that you have to live for. And if you are living to eat, you're not actually living. And those are my 10 unhinged weight loss tips and tricks. I hope you liked them. If you have any questions or you want to ask about them, please let me know.
So I've recently lost 50 pounds, and I did it mostly through 3 things. And so I don't want to gatekeep. I just want to tell you everything and give you my secret sauce to the weight loss. First of all, weight loss was not my goal. It was kind of an after product, a byproduct of quitting drinking. So that's number 1. I quit drinking alcohol. I needed to quit drinking alcohol for reasons I will not get into in this video. But quitting alcohol kind of kickstarted everything else. So that's number 1. Number 2 is I started eating more protein. For me personally, wrapping my head around like eating more of something is so much easier than saying, I'm not eating carbs, I'm not eating sugar. I didn't cut out anything. I allowed myself the sweet treats, I allowed myself the bread, whatever I wanted really, but I tried to eat more protein. And it is like a magic potion. The more protein you eat, the fuller you are longer, and it helps you build muscle. Protein is so good for you, and it's such an easy thing mentally to wrap your head around. And number 3, for fitness, I started weightlifting. Weightlifting is the life hack to fitness, ladies. You can do your Pilates, your yoga, your walking. I love walking. You can do all that stuff, but the weightlifting is truly life-changing. You have never seen your body as good as it can look until you've tried weightlifting. And you don't even have to put that much time into it. 15 to 30 minutes, 3 days a week is all you need, lifting heavy weights in the gym. And it will change your body yada yada composition, and also, strength is tied to longevity, so it's just good for you in general. Give it a try, mix in some walking. That's what I did, and those 3 things helped me lose the 50 pounds with really very little effort.
That's a video, besties. I'm just here just to add on like what I think about today's video. Bestie, when I started my weight loss journey, I realized very quickly that nothing changes until your mindset changes. I used to think weight loss was about forcing myself into intense routines, but over time I learned that it's more about building a lifestyle that feels natural. I want to share the habits that genuinely helped me, not because they were extreme, but because they were sustainable and simple enough to stick to it every day. These are the kind of changes that made my journey feel less like a punishment and more like reclaiming my life back. Basically, one of the biggest shifts was learning how to listen to my body. I stopped eating just because food was there or because I was bored or stressed. I started paying attention to how different food made me feel. Some food left me tired and heavy, while others left me light, satisfied and energized. When I focused on food that helped me feel good, instead of food just making me full, everything started falling into place. I realized that weight loss becomes much easier when you treat food as something that should support you, not sabotage you. Basically, another habit that transformed my journey was staying consistent with movement. I stopped chasing the most extreme workout and started choosing activities I enjoyed. Sometimes it was a walk and sometimes home workout, sometimes just stretching before bed. I did not pressure myself to be perfect. I just made sure I wasn't completely still on that day. Once my body got used to daily movement, everything else felt easy. My mood improved, my cravings were calmer, and my sleep got better. Drinking enough water was another quiet but powerful change. Staying hydrated helped me control unnecessary snacking because sometimes I realized I wasn't hungry. I was just tired or thirsty. Water helped my skin, my digestion, and my energy levels. It became one of the easiest habits to keep up with because it has made such a big difference in how I felt every day. I also learned the power of creating a routine. When you have a routine, you don't rely on motivation because motivation disappears. A routine gives you structure, and structure gives you discipline. When I decided what my mornings and evening would look like, I stopped waking up overwhelmed. I knew that I wanted to do this, and I did it because it was part of my day, not something I had to get ready for mentally. Another thing that helped me was portion awareness. I did not starve myself, and I did not remove all the food I loved. I just learned how to be mindful, small portions, lower chewing, and giving my body enough time to feel full changed everything. I could not still enjoy treat, but in a way that did not control me. Sleep also played a huge role. I didn't realize how much poor sleep affects cravings and mood until I walked into it. When I began prioritizing rest, I noticed that I naturally wanted healthy food and had more drive to move my body. Rest is not laziness. Rest is recovery, and recovery is part of the weight loss. Another shift was creating an environment that supported my goals. I stopped keeping food around that triggered overeating and replaced them with options that supported my progress. It wasn't about restriction, it was about setting myself up for success. When your environment works with you, not against you, your journey becomes smooth and less stressful. I also learned that tracking progress doesn't mean obsessing over the scale. I watch how my clothes fit, how my energy improved, and how my confidence grew. These non-scale changes kept me motivated, especially during those times when the scale refused to move. A big part of my progress came from patience. I accepted that real weight loss is slow, quick fixes never last, and extreme method only drain you. When I stopped rushing the process finally started working. Giving myself grace and moving at a steady pace helped me stay consistency. And finally, I surrounded myself with positivity, whether it was supportive people, uplifting videos, or motivational content. I made sure my mind stayed encouraged. A positive mindset won't lose for you, but it will make the journey far less painful. Your mindset determines how long you stay committed. This habit did not change my life over time, but together they created a lifestyle that naturally lead to weight loss. It became less about chasing results and it became more about becoming a better version of myself. So that's a video for today. I'll see you in the next episodes. Bye.